If there's one thing us Brits do right, it's breakfast. The full English is a breakfast staple. Most restaurants tend to do their own version, and for the next 4 days, I'm going to some of the most well-known chains in the UK and pitting their breakfasts against each other. I'll be ranking each breakfast out of 5 in 3 separate categories: service, food, and price. And at the end of this, we'll know which chain takes the crown of best breakfast. I started this off with a true classic. First stop in this merry little food tour. We're going to Wetherspoons. Pretty sure I've done Wetherspoons breakfast already before, but we're doing it again. Pepe's with me. Who doesn't love a Wetherspoons brekkie? In we went and I was greeted with the usual aesthetic of spoons. Busy as always, familiar tables, familiar chairs, and it felt quite welcoming. I decided that for this video I was going to get the biggest breakfast on offer at every single place that we went to, and if the menu offered any additional add-ons on the same line, I would have to get them. This particular menu didn't have any add-ons directly next to the meal, so it'll come as is. I'm also going to get a flat white from each place too. Service was nice and quick and my mug was with me pretty quickly, though unfortunately the coffee machines were down. Props to the staff though, they were so quick at sorting it out and my flat white was made. By the time I got back to the table, Pepe's food was there, probably as mine was a bit bigger so it would take a bit longer. Lavazza coffee is not good, but it does hit the spot when it's needed. Whilst I waited for my food, I checked the main menu some more and I'm always surprised with both how large it is and how cheap it is. I'm gonna have to tuck into all of this at some point, right? Spoons for a week is coming, and sooner than you think. When my breakfast arrived, it looked pretty good. I like how they treat you to Lurpak. It's expensive stuff, that butter. I added my brown sauce and began to tuck in. Sausage was alright, nothing mind-blowing. Toast was slightly burnt, egg was lukewarm, and sadly, no runny yolk. I was on a mission to find runny yolks over the next few days. The hash brown was a frozen hash brown, which is a good hash brown I might add, although also lukewarm. The mushroom was alright, the bacon was good actually, although yet again I add lukewarm. And I'm pretty sure the beans were Heinz. Gotta be the best bit of the entire breakfast, especially in some brown sauce. I powered through the rest of it as best as I could, but I did have to give Pepe a hash brown and a piece of toast, and yet there was still lots left on my plate. I hate letting food beat me though, so I had my last few mouthfuls and all I was left with was a bit of burnt toast. Okay, so scores out of 5. Service, they were really nice. They forgot Pepe's hash browns, he went and complained, and they literally gave them to him within the next minute. So service was good, they were very friendly. We'll give them like a 4 out of 5. In terms of food, lukewarm, eggs weren't runny, toast was overdone. I'm only going to food about a 2 out of 5, I'm sorry to say. Price, exceptional. £7 for that entire thing. Sure, it wasn't the best, but it was a lot of food for £7. So much so I had to give Pepe some of it. A 4.5. Spoons gets a respectable 10.5 out of 15. Honestly, not bad for a quick, cheap brekkie. Next up was somewhere that did pretty interesting breakfasts, similar to a full English, but also not quite a full English. It was Frankie and Benny's. I have not been to a Frankie and Benny's in a long time. Genuinely cannot remember when the last time I went was. Could well have been at university, which, that's like a decade and a half ago now. Frankie and Benny's in all its glory. Let's go in. It was very Halloween themed in here, but had the same aesthetic I remember from way back when I last came. A bit dark, booths everywhere instead of actual tables, but what I really liked was the open kitchen. Loving the vibe in here already. Good music, comfy booths, it's nice. They had some mad looking burgers. I'm gonna have to come back here for a burger, I think. They look good. Check out this Halloween burger, chilies for devil horns, love it. And I like the look of the whole menu actually, but we were here for the breakfast option. The Great NYC Breakfast. And seeing as I said I'm getting the largest one, I had to go large. And at $14.95, it alone was over double what Wetherspoons had cost me. Got my flat white coming as well. It arrived, it looked pretty decent, and it tasted it too. Honestly, that's a really nice flat white. It's hot, well made. I feel like that's proper coffee rather than just a machine, you know? Which is always a good sign. If this food is as good as it looks, I might just be a Frankie and Benny's convert. However, there was an issue. So there's only 2 other tables here. I've been waiting for 35 minutes for my food. Kind of slow. 10 minutes later from there and it arrived and it looked pretty good. Some fried eggs, 2 pancakes, hash browns, bacon and a couple of sausage patties. This looked pretty damn good. It did, and I tucked into each individual bit. The eggs were okay, the hash brown bites were amazing, the bacon was well cooked, the way I like it. The sausage patty was, yeah, seasoned really well, very tasty that. And the pancake was good too. A bit chewy, probably pre-made, but tasted like a decent pancake. It was a big breakfast though, so I ploughed on through it as best I could. And again, I gotta say, those hash browns... Don't care if they come in a bag frozen or anything, but... so good. I'm also a big fan of this bacon. And this sausage. It's a good brekkie. I kept eating some more and happy to report I did indeed finish it. Also, I did put some ketchup on the plate, but after one bite with it, realised it ruined the whole thing, so I didn't touch it again. They had no brown sauce. I'm stuffed. I'm genuinely quite surprised by that. That was a really decent breakfast. I would say the worst thing about that breakfast was probably the eggs. They were done sunny side up, but they were very sort of greasy spoon ones where they're really fried on the bottom, you know. I personally, if I have a fried egg, I like just sort of a slightly softer underside where it's not so like greased up. Other than that, sausage great, bacon great, hash browns great. Service was lovely, the people were lovely, but it did take 45 minutes for my food to come when there were only other 2 tables in the restaurant. So I am going to knock them down slightly for that, and service they are going to get a 3.5. Food was good, ever so slightly let down by the eggs, so because of that I am going to give it just a 4.4. And finally, price. Cost me like £18.60 altogether for the breakfast and the coffee. And the coffee was really nice. Coffee was really nice. Like, I enjoyed that. That was a good coffee. That was the large breakfast. So you got an extra sausage, extra bacon, and 1 extra egg on there. All just for an extra £2, really. It's not bad, but it's not the best. But it's still, in this day and age, not awful. So we'll give the price 3.8. Frankie and Benny's breakfast gets an 11.7. For the next meal, it was the turn of Harvester. One I did in my cheapest restaurant chains video, although it's probably worth noting, Harvester ain't that cheap anymore. Am I parked in front of a rosemary bush? Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff, that. Oh, I'm Hank Marvin, I am. I'm a little bit early, so hopefully they'll let me in early. Luckily for me, they did, and before I knew it, I was sat in a cosy corner booth and eyeing up their ultimate breakfast, complete with a rump steak add-on, which was pretty unique. Considering we're doing all add-ons, I suppose we're adding a 4-ounce rump steak. The rest of the breakfast menu did look pretty banging. I'm a big fan of chicken and waffles. Shame I couldn't get that, really. If we weren't doing traditional breakfast, I would probably have the chicken and waffles. Yes, Sam, I just said that. Gah, what are some people like? After ordering with the very friendly wait staff... They're cooking the steak to order as well, which is good. Will it take as long as Frankie and Benny's? Only time will tell. I waited. Also wondered if I should get a framed picture of an avocado, and I took in the vibes of the place. I perused their drinks menu. Perhaps a little too early. And before long, my flat white and water had arrived. The flat white was distinctly average. It's coffee, and I need coffee, so it'll do, but she did say it was from a machine. But then, quick as he liked, the breakfast arrived, and my word, it was big. This is huge! Hopefully, it's tasty. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Love it when they splurge on Lurpak. I performed the egg test and can confirm we had a lovely runny poached egg. That is what you want. I didn't really know where to begin, it was so large, but I tried the steak. It was cooked rare, how I asked, and it was tasty enough, but a bit chewy, as you come to expect from cheap steak. I mean, it was only a £3 add-on. £3 for a steak is... yeah, that's cheap. The sausage was nice, the black pudding was good, the hash browns were as you would expect. One of the best things with this meal is that it was hot. Both Spoons and Frankie and Benny's went cold pretty quickly, and that's not due to the fact that, you know, I take a while filming everything and filming it all and getting a camera angle and all that. No, they're just basically lukewarm by the time they get to you. This was hot. It retained its heat. It was warming and it was comforting. Although I never really understand tomato on a breakfast. It's just not my vibe, to be honest. And this one wasn't even seasoned. Do you know what else isn't my vibe? When you guys don't subscribe. Over 64% of you who watch these aren't subscribed, so I think you know what to do. Vibe with me, guys. Goh, these call to actions are getting cornier, aren't they? After eating for what seemed like hours, there was still no end to the vastness of this breakfast. It was beginning to feel like I'd opted into an eating challenge, but nonetheless I ploughed on, as best I could anyway. They brought me some brown sauce. This should help me mop up. So I ate some more until I was officially defeated. I'm sorry to say, but man down. There's no way I can eat anymore. Absolutely no way. This is a guy that outside of these videos has a bowl of porridge and a little bit of fruit for breakfast every morning. That or a Belvita soft bake, and that is it. I don't eat big breakfasts. I paid up, and on my way out I played the claw machine and won this little toy. I don't care that it says prize every time. I won. Look at it. That's for Riley, that. Service, a 5 out of 5. They were really, really lovely. Waitress recognised me, which is always really nice and was really complimentary. That's not why she gets a 5. She was really attentive and just really great. So I am going to give the service a 5. Price, that was 18 quid for the entire thing. And obviously I didn't finish it. So you get a lot of food and it's actually really, really tasty. I'm not a big tomato guy, but the black pudding was nice. The bacon was nice. The poached eggs are actually runny. We're going to give the food like a 4.7. And finally price, like as I say, like £18 for all of that. That's good. That's good. That's good. Another 4.7. Okay, so I just gave Harvester a 14.4, but you know what? It was a mighty fine breakfast, so I stand by what I said. Now, before I go to my final place, you might notice on the scorecard that there are 5 places, because I do feel like we need to give Toby Carvery an honourable mention. Whilst I didn't go there in this challenge, from when I did the week at Toby's, I definitely ate more than enough breakfast to fairly judge them as part of this. Service was always nice and with a smile, at least it was at the one I went to. The thing with Toby though, is it is very much self-service. Order at the bar for breakfast, they bring you your coffee, sure, but then you go and help yourself to the food. But they're friendly enough and I can't knock them for that, so they can have a 4 out of 5. The food is average, yes it's all you can eat, but because it can be left out for so long, by the time you get to things it can be a little lukewarm, overcooked and just not great. I do love their breakfast Yorkshire puddings though, they're a genius invention, but I'm going to give the food a 3 out of 5. Finally with price, it's £7.99 Monday to Friday or £8.49 at weekend, and the coffee is less than £3, so you're looking at around £11 altogether for a complete breakfast. I've got to give them a high score for this because it's all you can eat. You can literally go up as many times as you want, so let's just give them a 5. Why not? So if we're ranking Toby, and look, I'm biased after a week of Toby Carvery. I love it there. So I'm happy it gets a 12 out of 15. And it was finally time for the final breakfast, where it was time for Hungry Horse. I'm hungry for some horses. Well, not really horses. Do you remember that horse meat scandal at Tesco a few years back? Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? Let's go get some breakfast. In I went to sit down and check out the menu, where it looked like it would cost me £8.49, but had 2 add-ons I had to get, each at 99p. Also note they don't do flat whites here, so I opted for a cappuccino instead. The place was filled with gacha machines, claw machines, and a giant wall of sauces, which was actually really cool and very clever. Yes, I just called a giant wall of sauces very cool. I think it's cool. Look at it. Look how it's arranged. I think it's banging. I want a wall of sauces like that in my house. I'd have absolutely no need for it, but I do want one. I like it in here. Proper, like, cosy pub vibes. I didn't realise that Hungry Horse and Green King were the same thing, so you order online on the app. This is a Hungry Horse, but it's Green King. Fun fact, I used to be assistant manager at a Green King pub. Well, bar supervisor, but there were 2 of us, and we did all the assistant manager duties as well. So, yeah. My cappuccino came and... clearly machine coffee, but that's fine. It's an alright cappuccino. Nothing crazy, but it's alright. While I waited for my food, I did start eyeing up the gacha machines, but you know what? I don't think I need another toy. Nor does Riley. She's been spoiled enough recently. In fact, here's her with her little harvester toy. My breakfast came and it looked very humble. Nice, good portion size. Oh yeah, I'm here for this. This one looks good. I got eating, and to save repeating myself with every item I try like in the last few places, let's just say it was all very nice. This is a stunning breakfast. Genuinely. Okay, stunning apparently. Not just nice, stunning. To be fair, the eggs were runny, the sausage was flavourful, the bread was really nice, it said it was a nice white bloomer, and it really was, and I finished it up with little to no complaints. That breakfast low-key surprised me. Ooh. That was fantastic. quite frankly, that was fantastic. Hungry Horse, go to the Hungry Horse. I'm going to say service, if I gave Harvester a 5, these guys are even more attentive and lovely than the Harvester, so I'm going to give these guys a 5. They were so attentive, so welcoming when I came in. Both ladies working were on point and really, really kind. Again, in terms of the food, every single last piece of it was lovely. The egg was a proper runny yolk. It's just the kind of yolk that I like, just kind of fried egg that I like, unlike Frankie and Benny's. This was a soft bottom. Oh, it was just good. The sausage was nice, black pudding was nice, the toast was a bloomer. It was really, really yummy. I don't know if I can fault it. I don't actually have any faults on the breakfast. I'm going to give the food a 5. And then in terms of price, it was £8.49 if you didn't get the extras. The extras were an extra 99p each, and there were 2 of them, so that was £10.47. And with the coffee at £2.99, yeah, the coffee was okay, but like altogether, I'm going to give the price a 4.5. So Hungry Horse, to my surprise, scores the highest with a 14.5 out of 15. But there you go, here's all the scores. Hopefully that lets you decide where you're going to go for your next fry up. And me, well, you know me. I'll see you next week, where I'm going to eat more food.